One thing that helps to set apart BFDI from other shows is that the viewers have an outsized role in the future direction of the show. Sometimes it's by recommending characters that then get to compete in later seasons, such as Fries, Lightning, or Winner. Usually, however, it's by deciding which contestant gets eliminated in a particular episode, or which previously eliminated contestant comes back into the game. Here's the thing though, you may not know this, but I haven't always been here in the fandom. I only joined after BFB ended, so there are many episodes I never got to vote on. But what if I had been here from the beginning? That's what this video is about. If you enjoy this video, make sure to subscribe with notifications on, as it would be much appreciated. Now, let's dive in. Season 1, BFDI. In Episode 1, the Squashy Grapes lost the challenge, as they had failed to break the finish line before Pin made it. Anyways, I'm going to show who I would have voted and a short explanation why, followed by who ended up getting out instead. My choice would have definitely been Flower, as she's really the only one who did anything worth getting voted out for, and as we all know, she is the one who ended up getting out. BFDI 2 saw Needle and Teardrop fill up their team's bucket while Fiery was unable to do anything, so the Squishy Cherries were put up for elimination. My vote would have gone to Woody, because this early on, and I mean this in the nicest way possible, he's kinda useless. Spongy got eliminated in canon instead though. Interestingly, had I voted, it would have ended up as a tie. Wonder how that would have been handled. For BFDI 3, the Squishy Cherries lose the second time in a row because Pen and Blocky cheated on the test. Blocky ended up losing, but honestly, I probably would have voted Woody again, because at least Blocky tried to win, even if it was by cheating. I wouldn't have caused a tie this time though. After two other challenges in BFDI 4, Snowball ended up breaking the tie and winning the tiebreaker, so the Squishy Cherries lost again. Yes, for the third time in a row, I vote Woody. He finally gets eliminated this time as well, so that's nice. Nobody on either team makes it across the bridges in BFDI 5, so that means another tiebreaker, which Snowball wins for his team again. With Woody gone, I think I would have targeted Pin next, as she was probably the weakest of the bunch left. She did indeed get out here. Next elimination was a unique one. One of the 5 groups of 3 had their members put up for elimination, and it was the one consisting of Coiny, Needle, and Ice Cube. Needle was eliminated, and I probably would have voted for her given that after a certain point the slapping would get very old. Nobody got eliminated in BFDI 8, so we can skip to BFDI 9, which is a rejoin. How exciting! What isn't exciting is that my vote would go to Blocky, who ended up rejoining anyways. So, BFDI 10. Snowball was too stubborn to let his team do anything, so took the fall and got them put at risk. By this point, Ice Cube hadn't really done anything new or interesting in a bit, so I think I would have voted for her to get out. Too bad it had to be Teardrop though, not that she was much better about this in Season 1. BFDI 11. Finally, another one where my vote may have changed things. In this one, the recently formed Another Name has their first loss due to failing a tiebreaker. If I had somehow known ahead of time, I would have strategically voted for Coiny, so he would tie with Golf Ball. Then hopefully Golf Ball wins the tiebreaker. I mean, there's no way the Squashy Grapes choose Rocky over Coiny, right? Assuming I don't know, though, I'd just vote Rocky directly. Tragically or not, Another Name loses for the second time in a row because Coiny somehow thinks the nail won't pass right through the balloon for the ball of nails, and hit his own. Because of this stupidity on his part, Coiny is who I would vote since he caused them to lose. Apparently, just under half of the voters agreed, so he did get out. Now, we reach the merge. In the merge, the four with the least votes get put at risk, and then whoever gets the most votes still leaves the game. Rocky is who I would have voted. It's a pretty easy choice in my opinion. Sadly, it ended up being Snowball. BFDI 14 is the same story. Rocky at risk? He gets my vote. However, Match fell to him instead. No Rocky this time, but in BFDI 15, there is Ice Cube who I can vote for, and I would. Though she had been starting to rack up votes, it still wasn't close. Liking this two-tone aesthetic going on with these voting icons. You know the drill though, I'm voting Rocky. Once again, he manages to escape and force Pen out instead. In this one we see 8 players up for elimination at once, the most since there were still 2 teams, which is a very long time ago. Unfortunately, the elimination is not interesting because I would just vote Rocky for the 4th time in 5 episodes. He can't keep getting away with this! Now is the debut. It may surprise you to hear that my vote would not go to Fanny or Remote, but consider that we would have known very little about them at this time. Most likely I would go for Bommy since he'd already appeared several times in semi-important roles in various episodes. I don't know why, but the voters chose David instead and it wasn't particularly close. In BFDI 19, I think it's safe to say I would have voted for Spongy, not because I particularly dislike him at this point, but because I would prefer Pencil to stay instead, especially with how unfair it was that she was even up for voting. Sadly, it didn't happen. Eliminations like these make me question the viewers' choices. David, who I would have voted myself, was eliminated on the literal first time he was up for elimination, in BFDI 20. BFDI 21 was the final rejoin of Season 1. Flower was the one who won the vote. Not really sure if I would have voted for her or for Pencil, due to the unfair circumstances of her elimination, but definitely one of the two. Rocky lost in BFDI 22, so you know the drill. Thankfully, he finally got eliminated this time with just a 7-vote gap between him and Flower. If I'm being honest, I liked all 3 of Leafy, Bubble, and Spongy at the time I first watched BFDI, but I have to vote one of them, so I would have voted Spongy, and he did end up getting eliminated. For BFDI 24, I would have voted for Fiery. I like Leafy better than him, and it also would have been funny to see Flower make the finale, which she did not. Finally, the finale. As we all know, Fiery was the one who ended up winning, but I would have voted for Leafy to win, I think, because she was my favorite of the 3 at that time. That's a wrap on BFDI. Season 2 and 3, BFDIA and IDFB. Yes, I'm combining them into one section because IDFB has 1 episode. First off, how would I have allocated my 20 votes for the debut? After all, that's how many times each voter was allowed to vote for selecting Season 2's cast. Here's how I would do it. Well, I would vote for 20 individuals for starters. I'd probably go with Teardrop, Needle, Pin, Coiny, Pencil, Match, Tennis Ball, Golf Ball, Blocky, Pen, and Eraser for veterans, and Ruby, Fries, Bommy, Nickel, Book, Black Hole, Yellowface, Taco, and Evil Leafy for newbies. BFDIA 1 sees Wobunch get pulled into a pit by the incredibly stacked Team No Name. Seriously, 19-3 isn't a fair matchup at all. I think I would want to give all of them a fair chance, but they can't all stay. Due to the nature of the voting though, I can vote on all of them. I would give vote likes to Coiny and Pin, and a dislike to Donut. Coiny won the prize, while Donut got eliminated. BFDIA 3 has by far the most contestants that have ever been up for elimination at one time, though not the most that have been up for voting. Again, due to the nature of BFDIA's voting system, it'll take longer to get through. I would give likes to tennis ball, puffball, needle, book, gelatin, nickel, ruby, pencil, match, golf ball, yellow face, and fries. And dislikes to the rest: Bommy, Ice Cube, Rocky, Fiery, Spongy, and Dora. BFDIA 4 goes back to a much smaller elimination since Team No Name ended up using Bommy to kill all the bugs, meaning Wobunch was at stake. It also has the quirk of the most liked contestant, Teardrop, also being the most disliked. I would have given likes to all 4 of them, probably, or maybe given a dislike to Needle if I had to choose one. Yay, BFDIA 5, time for another long one! This time I would have liked and disliked the same ones as last time: tennis ball, puffball, book, gelatin, nickel, ruby, pencil, match, golf ball, and fries, and Ice Cube, Rocky, Fiery, and Spongy. BFDIA 6 is an interesting one. Not only did it never come out, BFDIA 5 shook up the status quo more than any other episode could have, like the formation of a whole new team, and an episode that is a game. From me, likes would have gone to tennis ball, gelatin, fries, and golf ball, and dislikes would go on the videos of Rocky, Ice Cube, and Puffball. She knows what she did. The final episode for this section is IDFB 1. Here we go back to only getting 1 vote, which gets the fact they got 20,299 votes more impressive, as was the most ever at the time, especially off a 3-year hiatus. Even BFB didn't top it till episode 5. Personally, I would have chosen either Match because of Free Smart or Teardrop because of how unfair her elimination was. If IDFB 2 comes out ever, Match would most likely rejoin, having got the most votes. Now we get to move on to Seasons 4 and 5, BFB plus TPOT 1. BFB has by far the most contestants and teams of any season, but that's not all of that relevant right now. In BFB 1, Ainz got put up for elimination because, frankly, they had a very dumb strategy, especially since they forgot lightning can fly. I would have put an F in square brackets because Pencil was a massive jerk to Bubble. As expected, she was the one to be eliminated. Then there's BFB 2. I would have voted David since he was utterly useless this episode. I suppose Leafy would probably have been like the 3rd best choice in the context of the episode though. Not much to say about BFB 3 to be honest. I guess I would have voted Bracelety because of how annoying her voice can be. Don't hate her regardless though, she's fine. BFB 4 is a pretty obvious one. I would 100% for certain vote for Pie out, since she was completely non-existent in the episode. Lai was robbed, in my opinion. BFB 5 is obvious again. David, though I could be swayed to Roboti since Dave actually helped beat this time. BFB 6 is a hard one. Given the context of the episode, I can probably say I would have voted for Eggy. Honestly, I was surprised to learn Loser would get out instead. BFB 7, probably TV. He doesn't really do much. However, the voters think themselves comedian because 8 Ball got out in the next episode, that being episode 8, instead. For BFB 8, honestly, Stapy kinda deserved it. If it hadn't been for his cheating though, maybe I would have voted for Bell or Marker due to their irrelevance. For BFB 9, definitely David again. He was utterly useless and I already didn't like him anyways. BFB 10 is a rejoin, and I would have most likely voted for Leafy to come back into the game. This is because, despite her behavior in BFB 2, I really wouldn't have wanted her to leave over David. Either her or Lai, I think, I would want to come back. BFB 11 sees Flower fail miserably to reach top of the stairs before everyone else, but it really wasn't her fault. That said, I would have voted for Snowball. As much as I like him, I think Match should have stayed for a little bit longer. In BFB 12, Fiery Jr. was easily the worst out of those up for elimination, so him without a doubt. BFB 13 was where you choose your favorite contestant. By this point, I think I would have considered Remote to be my favorite. BFB 14, 8 names finally gets up for elimination, and I think I would have gone with Ice Cube to be eliminated at the time, and I still feel that way today. Dora was my second choice though, so I'm not too upset about that. BFB 15 sees Team Ice Cube lose again through no fault of their own. However, maybe if Spongy had saved his other teammates, one of them could have dug Naily out or stopped Flower from burying her in the first place. For the debut for TPOT, I would have gone with Winner. They're my favorite of the debuters, simply put. BFB 17 sees the voting style switch from vote to save to vote to save. What? BFB 17 sees the voting style switch from vote to eliminate to vote to save. And who would I have saved? Lollipop, of course. A shame about Balloony, though. BFB 18? Definitely Blocky. He's great. You know who isn't great? Spongy, so I'm glad he got out for real this time. I think we all know the voting war that occurred in BFB 19 between Ruby and Gelatin. However, I would have taken the winning side by placing a B in my comment, simply because I like him better. BFB 20 sees the Have-Nots lose. I think I would have voted for Blocky again in this one, and no tears would be shed for the loser. For BFB 21, the Have-Nots lose for the second time in a row because they gave Woody an absolutely terrible gift. Once again, I would choose Blocky, but Taco was the one who got out by just one vote. In BFB 22, the formation of the Newbie Alliance would lead me to save Lollipop most likely. Bubble got out, and honestly, that's fine by me. The final team elimination was BFB 23, and I would have definitely saved Blocky again. He's easily the best of the remaining members of the Have-Nots. I was very disappointed when Flower lived and he didn't. Out of the 4 losers in BFB 24, Teardrop is far and away my favorite out of them. I was not upset to see Fiery would go. He already got to win once. Due to how helpful Lollipop was to Teardrop winning, and because I like her the best, I think she was the best choice in BFB 25. Woody getting out is no big deal in my opinion. I think for BFB 26, not really sure how I would have voted. Not Flower, that's for sure. Probably just Lollipop again actually, and I was pretty disappointed that she got out here. For BFB 27, I would definitely have voted for Gelatin, especially after what Leafy did to him. Good thing she got out and Gelatin was first safe. BFB 28 is a tough choice, being the last regular elimination. Really, I'm deciding who should go to the finale between Gelatin and Teardrop, and I would have gone with the former for sure. Similar story for the finale of BFB. I kind of feel like Gelatin should have won despite the events of BFB 29. And here we are at the last episode I never got to vote on. I've gotten to vote on every episode since TPOT 2, so I won't talk about those here. Maybe when TPOT finishes, and at this point I do mean when. I think you all know who I would have voted for. Remote, obviously. When I watched the elimination in TPOT 2, I knew Pi was leaving, but was still nervous. I don't know why. How would you have voted? Alternatively, would you vote differently given the chance to re-vote? Let me know in the comments. Thank you all for watching.